Your entire future is being decided by how you use today's hours. Not your talent, not your background, not your plans, just your hours. The ones you wake up with every morning and spend without thinking. Most people believe the future is something far away. In reality, it is being built quietly between waking up and going to bed. Look at a normal day. The first hour on your phone. The time lost to stress. The moments wasted because you did not feel like starting. None of these feel serious. But repeated daily, they shape where your life ends up. Hours are powerful because they repeat. What you repeat becomes your life. If your hours are unplanned, life feels rushed. If your hours are reactive, life feels stressful. If your hours are wasted, the future feels uncertain. This is not about working harder. It is about using time with intention. This video is about one skill that controls every other skill. Mastering your hours. When you control your hours, you control your focus. When you control your focus, you control your actions. And when you control your actions, you control your future. If you feel busy but not progressing, this message is for you. Stay here. What you understand next can change how you live every single day. Number 1. Own your hours to secure a future. People often ask why life feels rushed, yet unfinished at the same time. And the answer usually sits right in front of them every single day in the quiet, ordinary hours. They give away without thinking. Hours are not loud and they do not demand attention, but they quietly shape who you become. Every hour you own or lose is a vote for the future version of you. When hours drift with no direction, life slowly starts drifting too. And most people feel the pain of that drift long before they understand the cause. Time to sight comes first when a person realizes that their future is not built in years, but in ordinary days. The future does not arrive all at once. It arrives 1 hour at a time. People imagine change will happen later when conditions improve, when motivation appears, when life slows down. Life never slows down. The hours keep showing up. Whether you are ready or not, the question is whether you show up for them. Owning your hours does not mean controlling every minute with pressure or stress. It means deciding in advance what matters and giving those things a place in your day. Most people allow their hours to be owned by noise habits, interruptions, and emotional reactions. They wake up and immediately respond to the world rather than direct themselves. By the time evening arrives, they feel tired but not satisfied because energy was spent without purpose. A person who owns their hours lives differently on the inside. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing today was used well, even if it was not perfect. That confidence builds self-trust, and self-trust becomes strength. When you know you can guide your own time, you stop feeling like life is happening to you, and start feeling like you are participating in it. Every meaningful life is built on simple daily decisions repeated over time. Choosing to read instead of scrolling. Choosing to plan instead of rush. Choosing to rest properly instead of escaping into distraction. These choices seem small in the moment, but hours remember everything. They carry those choices forward and stack them into results. People often underestimate how emotional time really is. Wasted hours create guilt, stress, and regret. Well-used hours create calm, pride, and momentum. The mind feels lighter when you know you did what mattered today. Sleep comes easier. Waking up feels different. There's less fear of the future because the present is handled with care. Owning your hours also means facing uncomfortable truths. It requires honesty about where time actually goes. Many people protect their excuses more than their potential. Blaming work, family circumstances, or luck feels safer than admitting time was spent carelessly. Growth begins the moment responsibility is accepted. Responsibility is not heavy when carried daily. It becomes heavy only when ignored. Discipline with time is not about punishment. It is about respect. Respect for your energy. Respect for your goals. Respect for the limited days you have. When you respect your hours, others start respecting your boundaries. When you respect your hours, you stop negotiating with distractions that offer comfort but steal deers. A secure future is not created by intensity once in a while. It is created by consistency in ordinary moments. The person who reads 10 pages daily will outperform the person who waits for inspiration. The person who plans each evening will outperform the person who hopes tomorrow feels easier. Hope without structure creates anxiety. Structure creates calm. There is a deeper shift that happens when a person realizes they do not need more time. They need better ownership of it. Everyone receives the same hours each day, but not everyone uses them with intention. The future belongs to those who treat hours like valuable property, rather than something borrowed and forgotten. When hours are owned, priorities become clearer, decisions become easier, stress reduces because chaos has less space to grow. Life feels less reactive and more deliberate. That sense of direction brings confidence even during difficult seasons. Hard days feel manageable when you know your actions are aligned with where you want to go. Owning your hours also protects your energy. Energy wasted on unnecessary conflict, overthinking, and distraction drains the spirit. Energy invested in learning, creating, building, and caring strengthens the spirit. Strong energy fuels better hours, and better hours create stronger futures. It is a cycle that works either for you or against you, depending on your awareness. The future does not reward intention alone. It rewards action, repeated patiently. Owning your hours turns dreams into schedules and schedules into habits. Habits remove the need for constant motivation. When something has a place in your day, it no longer needs a fight with your emotions. It simply gets done. People who master their hours develop inner stability. They are less shaken by sudden changes because they know how to recenter. They know how to return to what matters. That skill becomes priceless during uncertainty. The world may feel unstable, but a person with owned hours carries stability within. There is also a strong sense of dignity that comes from using time well. You walk differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself with quiet assurance. That assurance attracts opportunity because it signals reliability. People trust those who manage themselves well. Opportunities often follow discipline more than talent. Owning your hours requires patience with yourself. Change does not happen overnight, but it happens faster than regret. Start by choosing 1 hour each day to protect. 1 hour for learning, growth, planning, or building something meaningful. That hour becomes an anchor. Over time, it expands naturally as confidence grows. Fear of the future often fades when the present is handled properly. Anxiety usually comes from postponed decisions and ignored responsibilities. When hours are owned, anxiety loses its grip. Peace is not found by escaping time, but by using it wisely. The truth is harsh, yet hopeful. No one is coming to manage your hours for you. No system, no person, no event will rescue wasted time. The good news is that no one can stop you from owning it either. The power sits quietly with you every morning. A secure future is not a mystery. It is the result of daily discipline with time. It is built by people who decided that their hours mattered before success arrived. They chose structure over comfort, focus over noise, responsibility over excuses. When you look back years from now, you will not remember every detail, but you will remember whether you felt proud of how you lived. That pride is earned in hours, not milestones. The future does not ask for perfection. It asks for direction and consistency. Own your hours and you own your future. Lose your hours and the future becomes uncertain. The choice is made daily, often quietly without applause, but those quiet decisions shape everything. The life you want is waiting patiently inside the hours you already have. Number 2. Confront how hours shape your destiny. Most people want a better future, but very few are willing to look closely at how their hours are quietly deciding that future right now. Destiny feels like a big dramatic word, yet it is shaped in very ordinary moments. It is shaped when the alarm rings. It is shaped when a person chooses what to focus on first. It is shaped when an hour passes and nothing meaningful was done with it. These moments feel small, but they are powerful because they repeat. Confronting how hours shape destiny requires honesty, and honesty is uncomfortable. It asks a person to stop blaming circumstances and start observing patterns. Patterns never lie. How you use your hours today is almost always how you will use them next month and next year, unless something changes. Awareness is the beginning of change. Without awareness, people live on autopilot and then wonder why life feels stuck. Every person lives by a time pattern, whether they admit it or not. Some patterns lead to growth, while others lead to regret. One pattern creates skills, confidence and stability. Another pattern creates stress, frustration, and a sense of falling behind. The difference is not intelligence or luck. The difference is how hours are treated when no one is watching. There is a moment of discomfort when someone realizes that the future they fear is being built by the way they spend their evenings. That realization can sting. It can create guilt or resistance, but it can also create power. Because once you see the truth, you gain the ability to respond. Destiny stops feeling random when patterns become visible. Hours shape thinking. What you watch, read, and listen to daily becomes your inner voice. That inner voice then shapes decisions. Decisions shape behavior. Behavior shapes results. Results shape identity. This chain is quiet but relentless. It works whether a person is intentional or careless. The only difference is the outcome. People often think destiny is decided by big moments. In reality, it is decided by repeated small choices. Choosing comfort instead of effort. Choosing distraction instead of focus. Choosing short relief instead of long improvement. These choices do not feel dangerous in the moment, but they accumulate. Hours do not argue. They simply record. Confronting time means noticing where emotional habits steal hours. Overthinking steals hours. Seeking approval steals hours. Comfort seeking steals hours. These habits feel harmless because they feel emotional rather than practical. But emotions drive behavior, and behavior uses time. Until emotional habits are addressed, time will keep leaking. Many people feel tired not because they work too much, but because they work without direction. Direction gives energy, meaning gives strength. When hours are spent on acts that matter, fatigue feels different. It feels earned. When hours are wasted, fatigue feels heavy and empty. That difference affects motivation and confidence. Destiny also responds to what a person practices daily. Skills grow when hours are invested consistently. Confidence grows when promises to oneself are kept. Self-respect grows when time is used with intention. These internal changes are often invisible to others, but they are felt deeply. A person who respects their time respects themselves. Confronting time requires asking difficult questions. What am I doing every day that moves me nowhere? What am I avoiding that would change my life if faced? What hours do I treat casually that deserve more care? These questions do not judge, they reveal, and what they reveal can become the starting point for transformation. The future often feels uncertain because the present is unmanaged. When hours are unclear, goals feel distant. When hours are structured, goals feel reachable. Structure does not remove freedom. It creates freedom by removing chaos. Chaos drains mental energy. Order restores it. Many people wait for motivation to change their use of time. Motivation follows action more often than it leads it. When hours are confronted honestly and adjusted slightly, momentum begins. Small improvements create visible progress. Progress fuels motivation. Motivation then reinforces better use of hours. Destiny is not cruel. It is consistent. It responds to patterns faithfully. If someone invests hours in learning, they gain knowledge. If they invest hours in building relationships, they gain support. If they invest hours in avoidance, they gain anxiety. The system is fair even when the outcome is uncomfortable. There is a powerful emotional shift when someone realizes they are not behind. They are simply unorganized with time. That realization replaces shame with responsibility. Responsibility is empowering. It means the future is still negotiable. It means tomorrow can be different without waiting for permission. Confronting time also means understanding that rest is part of destiny. Rest that restores is intentional. Rest that numbs delays growth. Many people confuse the two. True rest prepares the mind and body for meaningful effort. Escapist rest often creates guilt and drains energy. Hours shape confidence in subtle ways. When you repeatedly fail to do what you planned, confidence erodes. When you follow through, confidence builds. This has nothing to do with talent. It has everything to do with self-trust. Self-trust is built in hours kept, not hours planned. The person you become is a reflection of what you repeatedly practice. Practicing discipline creates stability. Practicing avoidance creates fragility. Practicing learning creates adaptability. Practicing distraction creates restlessness. These traits shape destiny more than external events. People who confront their time begin to feel grounded. They know what they are working toward, They know why they say no. They know how to recover from setbacks because their days have structure. Structure creates resilience. Resilience creates long-term success. The future does not demand perfection. It demands honesty and consistency. Honest review of how hours are used, followed by small corrections, changes direction over time. Direction matters more than speed. Slow progress in the right direction beats fast movement toward nowhere. Confronting how hours shape destiny is not about fear. It is about respect for life. Life is experienced in hours. Memories are formed in hours. Growth happens in hours. When hours are respected, life becomes intentional rather than accidental. At some point, every person must decide whether to drift or direct. Drifting feels easier short-term. Directing feels harder at first, but easier later. The pain of discipline fades. The pain of regret stays. This is not drama. It is observation. The most empowering moment in inner growth is when someone realizes their future is not waiting for permission. It is waiting for better use of today. The future listens closely to how today is handled. It responds without judgment. When hours are confronted honestly, destiny becomes less mysterious and more manageable. Life stops feeling like a gamble and starts feeling like a responsibility. Responsibility carried daily becomes strength. Strength carried daily becomes confidence. Confidence carried daily shapes a future that feels earned. The direction of a life can change quietly through better use of ordinary hours. That change does not need applause. It needs commitment. And commitment begins the moment a person decides to face how their hours are shaping who they are becoming. Number 3, decide daily where time earns returns. Every day begins with a silent question, whether you notice it or not. And that question is, where will my time pay me back? Time is the only resource that never increases yet. It offers returns when used with intention. Many people spend time, but very few invest it. Spending gives short relief. Investing builds something that lasts. The difference shows up slowly, and then all at once. Deciding daily where time earns returns is an act of leadership over your own life. Leadership is not loud. It is quiet decisions made consistently. Each morning gives a limited number of hours, and those hours will be spent somewhere. If they are not directed, they will be consumed by convenience habits and emotional reactions. Direction turns time into an asset rather than an expense. Returns from time are not always immediate. This is where many people struggle. The mind prefers quick results. Growth prefers patience. Learning something new rarely feels rewarding at first. Building skills often feels uncomfortable. Planning feels boring to those addicted to urgency. Yet these activities pay interest over time. The return shows up as confidence, stability options, and freedom. People often complain that effort does not pay off. What they really mean is that they did not wait long enough or invest consistently. Returns from time require repetition. One focused hour does not change a life, but repeated focused hours change everything. Consistency compounds quietly, and most people quit before the benefits become visible. Deciding where time earns returns requires clarity about what matters long term. Comfort feels urgent, but rarely pays back. Growth feels demanding, but creates options. Entertainment relaxes temporarily. Learning strengthens permanently. These distinctions help guide daily decisions. Without clarity, time drifts toward what feels easiest, rather than what pays best. Emotions often try to control time choices. Stress pushes people toward escape. Boredom pushes people toward distraction. Fear pushes people toward avoidance. Awareness allows you to pause and choose differently. Choosing growth over comfort builds emotional maturity. Emotional maturity improves decision-making. Better decisions improve results. Returns from time also depend on quality of attention. Half-focused hours deliver half results. Deep attention accelerates learning and skill development. Attention improves when distractions are reduced intentionally. This requires boundaries. Boundaries protect focus. Focus protects returns. Many people feel busy yet unproductive. Busyness is movement without measurement. Productive is movement toward a defined outcome. Measuring returns from time does not require complexity. Ask simple questions. Did this hour make me stronger, wiser, calmer, or more capable? If not, it may have been spent rather than invested. Time invested in health pays returns through energy. Time invested in learning pays returns through skill. Time invested in planning pays returns through reduced stress. Time invested in relationships pays returns through support and trust. These returns multiply. Energy improves learning. Learning improves income. Income reduces pressure. Pressure reduction improves relationships. Deciding daily where time earns returns also builds self-respect. Following through on planned actions strengthens identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. When identity shifts from someone who reacts to someone who directs, confidence grows naturally. Confidence attracts opportunities because it signals reliability. Many people overestimate what they can change in a day and underestimate what they can change in a year. This leads to Tasha. Better thinking focuses on daily deposits rather than daily transformation. Small deposits made daily produce significant returns over time. Patience turns effort into equity. Time invested wisely reduces anxiety. Anxiety often comes from neglected priorities. When important tasks are delayed, the mind carries unfinished business. This mental weight drains energy. When time is allocated intentionally, anxiety decreases because progress is visible. Progress reassures the mind. Best from time are also moral. Doing what you said you would do strengthens character. Character influences every area of life. A person with strong character makes better choices under pressure. Pressure reveals habits. Habits are built in daily time use. Many people wait for large blocks of time to invest in growth. Those blocks rarely appear. Growth happens in small, consistent segments. 15 focused minutes daily often outperform occasional long sessions. Consistency beats intensity when intensity is rare. Deciding where time earns returns means saying no often. No to interruptions. No to unnecessary commitments. No to habits that drain without giving back. Saying no creates space for meaningful yes. Space allows depth. Depth produces value. Time returns also show up as peace of mind. When time is used intentionally, evenings feel calmer. Mornings feel purposeful. The day feels owned rather than survived. This ultimate stability improves decision-making and relationships. Calm minds choose better investments. Many people confuse relaxation with recovery. Recovery restores capacity. Poor relaxation numbs awareness. Time invested in proper rest improves focus and discipline. This allows better use of active hours. Rest and effort are partners, not enemies. Deciding daily where time earns returns is not rigid scheduling. It is flexible discipline. Life changes. Priorities shift. Discipline adapts rather than breaks. Flexibility without discipline becomes chaos. Discipline without flexibility becomes burnout. Balance is built through awareness. The future rewards those who invest early and consistently. Waiting delays growth. Delays compound just like progress. Lost time does not return dividends. This is not meant to create fear. It creates urgency with calm. Calm urgency leads to steady action. Returns from time also appear in reputation. People notice reliability. They notice consistency. They notice follow-through. Reputation creates opportunities that talent alone can. Talent grows faster when supported by disciplined time use. Daily decisions shape long-term outcomes more than occasional effort. A single day rarely changes everything, but repeated days shape Sydney. Time does not require perfection. It requires direction and follow-through. Deciding where time earns returns also improves clarity. When time is aligned with values, decisions feel simpler. Confusion often comes from misaligned time use. Aligning hours with priorities reduces inner conflict. The strongest people are not those who never waste time, but those who correct quickly. Awareness allows adjustment. Adjustment protects long-term returns. Perfectionism delays action. Progress requires movement. Every day presents choices that seem equal but are not. 1 hour spent learning creates future options. 1 hour spent avoiding creates future pressure. These differences are subtle now but obvious later. The ability to invest time wisely becomes a competitive advantage in any field. Many people work hard but few work deliberate. Deliberate effort compounds faster. It produces better results with less stress. Deciding daily where time earns returns is an ongoing practice. It strengthens with repetition. Discipline becomes easier as habits form. Habits reduce mental effort. Reduced effort increases consistency. The most valuable return from time is self-trust. Knowing you can direct your actions builds inner stability. Inner stability supports growth during uncertainty. Uncertain times reward disciplined individuals. Each day offers a chance to place time where it grows rather than disappear. That choice shapes skills, mindset, health, and confidence. Over time, these returns create a future that feels earned, not accidental. Time does not judge how it is used. It simply responds. Wise investment brings growth. Careless spending brings pressure. The decision is renewed daily, and that daily decision quietly determines what the future delivers. Number 4. Stop letting moods control your schedule. One of the quiet struggles most people face is allowing moods to decide how the day unfolds. A good mood creates momentum, and a bad mood shuts everything down. This pattern feels natural, but it slowly hands control of life to feelings that change constantly. Moods are temporary, but their impact on time can be permanent when they are allowed to lead. A mood is simply an emotional state passing through. It is influenced by sleep, stress, conversations, memories, and expectations. It is not a reliable guide for important decisions. When moods control the schedule, progress becomes inconsistent. Some days feel productive, and others feel wasted with no clear reason. Over time, this inconsistency creates frustration and self-doubt. Discipline begins where mood management ends. Productive people are not those who feel motivated every day. They are people who act even when they do not feel like it. Action often changes mood faster than mood changes action. Waiting to feel ready delays growth. Starting creates readiness. Many people mistake emotional comfort for alignment. They assume that if something feels heavy, it must be wrong. Growth often feels heavy before it feels rewarding. Learning feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. Structure feels restrictive before it feels freeing. Moods resist change because change threatens familiarity. When moods run the schedule, priorities shift constantly. Important tasks are postponed. Small frustrations derail plans. Comfort becomes the default response. Over time, this teaches the mind that feelings are more powerful than commitments. That belief weakens confidence. Confidence grows when actions are taken regardless of emotional state. Each time a task is completed despite resistance, self-trust strengthens. Self-trust becomes emotional stability. Emotional stability reduces mood swings. This creates a cycle of control rather than reaction. Moods are useful signals, but poor leaders. They can indicate fatigue, stress, or need for rest. They should inform adjustments, not cancel responsibility. There's a difference between listening to your body and surrendering to every emotional fluctuation. Wisdom knows the difference. Schedules built on moods collapse easily. Schedules built on values endure. Values remain steady when emotions fluctuate. When time is anchored to values, work gets done even on difficult days. Difficult days then lose their power to derail progress. Many people feel trapped by low motivation. Motivation is not the cause of action. It is often the result. Action produces clarity. Clarity produces energy. Energy improves mood. This sequence works reliably when trusted. Stopping moods from controlling the schedule also reduces stress. Stress often comes from unfinished commitments. When tasks are delayed, guilt builds. Guilt drains energy. Completing tasks breaks this cycle. Completion creates relief even when the task itself was unpleasant. Emotional discipline does not mean ignoring feelings. It means choosing behavior deliberately. Feelings can be acknowledged without obeying them. This distinction is crucial for long-term growth. Feelings are temporary visitors. Discipline builds the house. Many people sabotage their goals by negotiating with their emotions. They ask how they feel before deciding what to do. This habit gives feelings authority they were never meant to have. Goals require consistency, not emotional approval. There's freedom in doing what needs to be done, regardless of mood. Freedom does not come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from competence and reliability. Reliability builds inner pride. Pride strengthens resilience. Moods often exaggerate reality. A small setback feels overwhelming. A minor inconvenience feels like a major obstacle. Acting despite mood reveals that the task was manageable. This corrects distorted thinking. Clear thinking improves decisions. When schedules are protected from moods, progress becomes predictable. Predictable progress builds calm. Calm improves emotional regulation. Emotional regulation prevents extreme mood swings. This stability becomes a foundation for success. Many people believe they need to feel inspired to create discipline. Discipline creates inspiration more reliably. Inspiration comes from seeing progress. Progress comes from consistent effort. Consistent effort requires acting without emotional permission. Stopping moods from controlling time also improves relationships. Emotional reactivity often leads to canceled commitments, broken promises, and misunderstandings. Consistency builds trust. Trust strengthens relationships. Relationships support growth. Moods are influenced by habits. Poor sleep, poor nutrition, lack of movement, and constant distraction intensify emotional volatility. Improving daily habits stabilizes mood naturally. Stability makes discipline easier. When people rely on mood to decide effort, they live at the mercy of circumstances. Circumstances change constantly. Those who build discipline create inner structure that remains steady. Inner structure supports external success. Emotional mastery develops through practice. Each time you follow your schedule despite resistance, you weaken the habit of avoidance. Avoidance shrinks with disuse. Discipline grows with repetition. Schedules should be realistic but firm. Overloaded schedules invite emotional resistance. Balanced schedules encourage follow-through. Discipline thrives on achievable commitments. Stopping mood-based decisions also improves self-respect. Keeping promises to yourself strengthens identity. Identity influences behavior automatically. A disciplined identity makes disciplined action easier. There will always be days when energy feels low. These days are not failures. They are tests of consistency. Doing something small still counts. Small actions maintain momentum. Momentum protects confidence. Mood-driven schedules create emotional roller coaster. Value-driven schedules create steady progress. Steady progress outperforms bursts of intensity followed by collapse. Emotional discomfort is not a signal to stop. It is often a signal that growth is occurring. Learning to tolerate discomfort builds mental strength. Mental strength supports long-term achievement. When moods stop controlling time, excuses lose their power. Responsibility replaces justification. Responsibility creates clarity. Clarity reduces anxiety. A disciplined schedule becomes a source of comfort. It provides direction when emotions feel scattered. Direction reduces overwhelm. Overwhelm fades when actions are clear. The goal is not to eliminate emotion. The goal is to lead it. Leadership requires awareness, choice, and consistency. Emotional leadership builds personal power. Every time you act despite not feeling like it, you expand your capacity. Capacity increases confidence. Confidence stabilizes mood. This positive cycle replaces emotional chaos. Time is too valuable to be handed over to passing feelings. Feelings change hourly. Goals require steady commitment. Commitment builds a future that does not depend on how you felt on any given day. Stopping moods from controlling your schedule is an act of self-respect. It signals that your goals matter more than temporary discomfort. That belief changes behavior. Behavior changes outcome. Discipline does not remove joy. It creates the conditions for lasting satisfaction. Satisfaction comes from progress. Progress comes from consistent effort. When emotions are allowed to inform but not command the schedule, life becomes intentional. Intentional living reduces regret. Regret when effort is consistent. The strongest form of motivation is reliability. Reliability is built when actions align with plans regardless of mood. This reliability becomes a personal advantage. Each day offers the opportunity to practice emotional leadership. Leadership over self precedes leadership over life. Those who master this skill move steadily forward, while others remain trapped by how they feel. Moods will come and go. The schedule should remain grounded. Grounded schedules build grounded lives, and grounded lives create futures that feel stable, earned, and deeply satisfying. Number 5. Build trust with yourself through time. One of the most important relationships you will ever build is the one you have with yourself. And that relationship is built quietly through how you use your time. Trust with yourself does not come from positive thinking or strong intentions. It comes from evidence. It comes from seeing yourself do what you said you would do again and again. Time is the testing ground where that trust is either strengthened or broken. Many people struggle with confidence not because they lack ability, but because they no longer fully trust themselves. They have made promises they did not keep. They planned days they did not follow. They delayed actions they knew were important. Over time, these small moments added up and created doubt. That doubt is not loud, but it influences every decision. Trust with yourself grows when your actions match your words. When you decide how you will use your time and then follow through, something powerful happens internally. Your mind begins to relax. It no longer needs to argue or negotiate. It learns that your decisions are dependable. That sense of reliability creates calm and clarity. Every time you waste time intentionally, you send yourself a message. Every time you use time with care, you send a different message. These messages shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. Results shape belief. Belief shapes the future. This chain always begins with how time is treated. Many people talk about self-respect without realizing it is built through daily discipline. Self-respect is earned when you honor your own commitments. It is damaged when you ignore them. Time is where those commitments live. You do not break trust with yourself all at once. You do it 1 hour at a time. Building trust with yourself does not require dramatic changes. It requires consistency. Choosing small actions you can keep builds credibility internally. Large promises often fail because they are emotionally driven rather than realistically planned. Small promises kept consistently rebuild confidence faster than big promises broken. When you trust yourself, decisions become easier. You no longer debate endlessly because you believe you will follow through. This reduces mental fatigue. Reduced fatigue improves focus. Improved focus leads to better use of time. Better use of time reinforces trust. This cycle strengthens over time. Many people rely on motivation to guide their actions. Motivation fluctuates. Trust does not. Trust is built through repetition. When you have evidence that you act responsibly even when motivation is low, you stop waiting for emotional readiness. You begin to act from discipline. Time reveals truth. It exposes whether intentions are serious or casual. When you schedule something important and honor that schedule, you prove commitment. When you cancel repeatedly, you weaken belief in yourself. This belief affects confidence more than external criticism ever could. Trust with yourself also affects how you handle pressure. When challenges arise, those with strong self-trust remain steady. They know they can respond effectively because they have done it before. Those without self-trust panic because they doubt their own reliability. This difference shows up in critical moments. Using time wisely builds inner stability. You begin to feel grounded. You know what you are working on and why. This reduces anxiety. Anxiety often comes from inconsistency and unfinished responsibility. When time is managed intentionally, anxiety loses its power. Building trust with yourself requires honesty. You must acknowledge when time is wasted without excuses. Excuses protect comfort, but damage credibility. Honest review allows adjustment. Adjustment restores trust. Trust grows when you correct behavior rather than ignore it. Every kept promise to yourself strengthens your inner voice. That voice becomes supportive rather than critical. It becomes calm rather than chaotic. A calm inner voice improves focus. Focus improves productivity. Productivity improves confidence. Many people seek validation from others while neglecting the approval of their own conscience. Approval from others is temporary. Approval from yourself is lasting. It is earned through daily choices with time. This approval creates peace that external praise cannot replace. Trust with yourself also influences goal setting. When trust is low, goals feel heavy and distant. When trust is high, goals feel achievable. You believe in your ability to act consistently. This belief fuels effort. Effort produces results. Time is the medium through which character is formed. Character is not built in moments of excitement, but in moments of routine. Routine reveals discipline. Discipline reveals integrity. Integrity builds self-trust. When you follow through on your schedule, you send yourself a message that your life matters. That message changes behavior. It encourages responsibility. Responsibility strengthens maturity. Maturity improves decision-making. Many people underestimate how much emotional strength comes from a well-used day. At the end of a day where priorities were honored, there is quiet satisfaction. That satisfaction improves sleep. Better sleep improves energy. Better energy improves the next day. Building trust with yourself also reduces dependence on external pressure. You no longer need deadlines imposed by others to act. You become self-directed. Self-direction is a major advantage in life. It allows flexibility without chaos. Time discipline creates internal order. Internal order reduces emotional swings. Emotional stability improves relationships. Strong relationships support growth. Growth reinforces self-trust. Breaking trust with yourself often happens when you overload your schedule. Unrealistic plans invite failure. Failure damages confidence. Realistic planning supports success. Success strengthens trust. It is better to underplan and complete than overplan and abandon. Completion builds belief. Belief builds momentum. Momentum carries effort forward. Trust grows fastest when actions are aligned with value. When time is spent on what truly matters, effort feels meaningful. Meaning fuels persistence. Persistence builds consistency. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Intensity fades. Consistency compounds. Compounding effort creates visible progress. Progress reinforces belief. When you trust yourself, you stop seeking shortcuts. You understand that growth takes time. Patience becomes easier because you believe in your process. Belief reduces frustration. Time also teaches self-forgiveness. Mistakes will happen. Misdays will occur. Trust is maintained by returning to discipline quickly rather than quitting. Recovery strengthens resilience. Resilience builds confidence. Confidence improves leadership over your own life. Leadership over self precedes success in any area. Trust with yourself allows you to take bigger risks because you believe in your ability to adapt. Adaptability is built through disciplined habits. Habits are formed through repeated use of time. Many people feel stuck, not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack self-trust. They hesitate to commit because they doubt follow through. Building trust removes this hesitation. Time invested in reflection strengthens awareness. Awareness improves correction. Correction maintains progress. A strong relationship with yourself creates inner peace. Peace supports clarity. Clarity guides action. When your words and actions align regularly, your identity shifts. You become someone reliable. Reliability attracts opportunity. Trust with yourself is not loud. It is steady. It shows up in how you wake up, how you work, and how you rest. Each day offers a chance to strengthen or weaken that trust. The choice is made quietly through how time is used. When you honor your time, you honor yourself. That honor builds dignity. Dignity shapes behavior. Over time, disciplined use of hours creates a version of you that feels dependable. That version handles life with confidence. The future feels less intimidating when you trust your ability to manage today. Today managed well becomes tomorrow prepared. Building trust with yourself through time is one of the most valuable investments you can make. It pays dividends in confidence, clarity, and peace. This trust becomes the foundation upon which goals are achieved and challenges are met, and it is built one honest hour at a time. Number 6, invest prime hours in meaningful work. Every person has certain hours in the day when the mind is clearer, the energy is stronger, and focus comes more naturally. These hours are not equal to the rest. They are prime hours. What you choose to do with them quietly determines how fast you grow and how far you go. Many people give these hours away to routine tasks, distractions, or emotional noise, and then wonder why progress feels slow. Meaningful work requires your best attention, not your leftovers. When important tasks are pushed into tired hours, they suffer. Quality drops. Learning slows. Frustration grows. This is not because the task is wrong, but because the timing is wrong. Prime hours are when the brain absorbs faster, thinks sharper, and creates better solutions. Most people use prime hours reactively. They check messages, attend unnecessary meetings, scroll through updates, or handle minor issues. By the time they reach work that actually matters, energy has faded. The day feels busy but unproductive. This pattern repeats, and progress stalls quietly. Investing prime hours in meaningful work requires intention. It means deciding in advance what deserves your best energy. Meaningful work is work that builds skill, creates value, solves important problems, or moves life forward. It is often challenging. It demands focus. It rarely screams for attention. That is why it must be chosen deliberately. When you give meaningful work your best hours, you send yourself a message that your growth matters. That message strengthens discipline. Discipline improves consistency. Consistency builds results. Results build confidence. Confidence fuels further effort. This cycle begins with one intentional choice. Meaningful work often feels uncomfortable at first. It stretches ability and exposes weakness. Prime hours make this discomfort manageable. The mind handles complexity better when rested. Frustration decreases. Progress accelerates. Over time, discomfort transforms into competence. Many people confuse urgency with importance. Urgent tasks feel demanding, but often produce little long-term value. Important tasks feel quiet, but compound over time. Prime hours belong to importance, not urgency. Urgency can be handled later when energy is lower. Investing prime hours wisely reduces stress. Important tasks completed early remove mental weight. The rest of the day feels lighter. Decisions become easier. This sense of control improves emotional stability. Prime hours also shape identity. When you consistently work on meaningful tasks during your best hours, you begin to see yourself as disciplined and capable. Identity influences behavior automatically. A disciplined identity makes future discipline easier. People often say they lack time to improve their lives. In reality, they lack priority for their best hours. Time exists. Energy exists. Focus exists. The challenge is directing them where they matter most. Meaningful work done in prime hours compounds faster. Learning sticks better. Creative ideas flow more freely. Problem solving becomes efficient. This efficiency frees additional time later. Early discipline creates later freedom. Distractions are most costly during prime hours. A single interruption can break deep focus and waste valuable mental energy. Protecting prime hours requires boundaries. Boundaries communicate respect for your work and yourself. Many people fear missing out if they disconnect during peak energy periods. What they miss instead is progress. Progress builds confidence. Confidence reduces fear of missing out. Growth replaces anxiety. Investing prime hours in meaningful work also improves motivation. Seeing tangible progress early in the day creates momentum. Momentum carries through the rest of the day. This makes even routine tasks feel lighter. Meaningful work often aligns with long-term goals, rather than immediate pleasure. Prime hours make delayed gratification easier. The mind resists less when energy is high. Discipline feels natural rather than forced. People who consistently invest prime hours outperform those who work longer, but scatter their energy. Focus beats duration. Quality beats quantity. This principle applies across all areas of life. Prime hours differ for each person. Some think best early morning, others midday. Awareness. Notice when focus feels natural. Protect that time fiercely. Do not give it away casually. Meaningful work does not mean working constantly. It means choosing the right work at the right time. Rest also becomes more effective when effort is well placed. Balance improves naturally. When prime hours are wasted, regret builds quietly. Regret drains energy. Energy loss makes future discipline harder. This downward cycle is subtle, but powerful. Awareness interrupts it. Investing prime hours well builds self-respect. You trust yourself more because you honor your priority. Self-respect strengthens confidence. Confidence improves decision-making. Many people postpone meaningful work because it feels intimidating. Doing it during tired hours increases resistance. Prime hours reduce fear. Clarity replaces overwhelm. Meaningful work completed consistently builds mastery. Mastery creates options. Options create freedom. Freedom reduces stress. This chain begins with disciplined time use. Prime hours are limited. They should not be spent on low-value activities. Entertainment can wait. Minor tasks can wait. Growth should not wait. Investing prime hours also improves learning speed. New skills develop faster. Information is retained longer. This accelerates personal and professional growth. When meaningful work becomes a daily habit during prime hours, discipline becomes automatic. Automatic discipline reduces mental effort. Reduced effort increases sustainability. Sustainability matters more than bursts of intensity. Sustainable habits produce long-term success. Prime hour investments support sustainability. People often underestimate the emotional reward of meaningful work. Completing challenging tasks creates pride. Pride improves mood. Improved mood supports discipline. Prime hours used well reduce anxiety about the future. Progress provides reassurance. Reassurance calms the mind. Meaningful work clarifies purpose. Purpose energizes effort. Energy improves consistency. Investing prime hours well also improves resilience. When challenges arise, skills develop through focused work. provide confidence. Confidence supports recovery. Many people feel busy but empty. Meaningful work fills that emptiness. It provides direction. Direction reduces confusion. Prime hours should be treated like valuable currency. Spend them where returns are highest. Waste them and future costs increase. Protecting prime hours may require difficult choices. Saying no to interruptions. Declining unnecessary commitments. These choices strengthen discipline. Discipline practiced daily builds strength. Strength supports ambition. Investing prime hours in meaningful work creates a sense of progress. Even during slow seasons, progress prevents discouragement. Discouragement often comes from effort without results. Proper timing improves results. Prime hours invested well create clarity. Clarity improves planning. Planning improves execution. Execution builds momentum. Momentum fuels growth. Meaningful work shapes character. Character influences destiny. When you look back years later, you will not remember distractions. You will remember what you built, what you learned, who you became. That version of you is shaped in prime hours. Each day offers a window of opportunity. That window closes quickly. Use it wisely. Invest your best hours in work that matters. Everything else can wait. This simple decision, repeated daily, changes the direction of a life. And over time, it builds a future that feels earned, purposeful, and deeply satisfying. Number 7, reduce anxiety by planning hours. Realistically, anxiety often does not come from having too much to do, but from not knowing how the day will actually unfold. The mind dislikes uncertainty. When hours are vague, the mind fills the gaps with worry. Thoughts jump ahead, imagining unfinished tasks, forgotten responsibilities, and possible failure. This mental noise drains energy before the day even begins. Realistic planning quiets that noise. Many people plan their days based on how they wish they felt rather than how life actually works. They overload schedules with good intentions and ignore human limits. When the plan collapses, anxiety rises. The problem is not lack of discipline. The problem is unrealistic expectations placed on time. Planning hours realistically means accepting truth. Tasks take longer than imagined. Energy fluctuates. Interruptions happen. Rest is necessary. When these realities are ignored, the schedule becomes a source of pressure instead of support. Pressure builds anxiety. Support reduces it. An anxious mind often jumps between tasks without finishing. This creates a sense of chaos. Chaos increases stress. Realistic planning creates order. Order calms the nervous system. Calm improves focus. Focus improves execution. Many people confuse ambition with overload. Ambition guided by realism produces steady progress. Ambition without realism produces burnout. Burnout damages confidence and motivation. Motivation struggles to survive under constant pressure. Realistic planning begins with understanding capacity. Capacity includes time, energy, and attention. Ignoring any one of these weakens the plan. A day planned with respect for capacity feels manageable. Manageable days reduce anxiety. Anxiety thrives on unfinished business. When tasks are unclear, the mind keeps reminding you. This creates mental clutter. Clear plans reduce clutter. Reduced clutter improves peace of mind. Realistic planning does not mean lowering standards. It means sequencing effort wisely. Important tasks receive appropriate time. Less important tasks wait. This prioritization prevents overwhelm. Many people feel anxious because they plan reactively. They wait until pressure builds before organizing time. Proactive planning creates control. Control reduces fear. Fear often comes from feeling behind. Realistic plans create achievable wins. Wins build confidence. Confidence reduces anxiety. Planning hours realistically also involves leaving space. Space allows recovery. Recovery maintains energy. Energy stabilizes mood. Stable mood supports consistency. Schedules packed tightly invite frustration. One delay disrupts everything. Flexible schedules absorb disruption without emotional collapse. Flexibility supports resilience. An anxious mind often overestimates what must be done immediately. Realistic planning separates urgency from importance. This clarity reduces panic. Time improves with honesty. If a task usually takes an hour, do not plan 30 minutes. Lying to yourself damages trust. Trust loss increases anxiety. Honest planning restores self-confidence. Many people plan based on best-case scenarios. Best-case planning ignores reality. reality arrives anyway. When reality clashes with fantasy, stress increases. Planning for reality reduces shock. Realistic planning respects energy cycles. Energy is not constant. Expecting peak performance all day invites disappointment. Scheduling demanding tasks when energy is higher improves outcome. Anxiety often arises when days feel out of control. Control comes from preparation. Preparation comes from thoughtful planning. Thoughtful planning requires calm reflection. Planning hours realistically also improves sleep. A clear plan for tomorrow reduces racing thoughts at night. Better sleep improves emotional regulation. Many people fear planning because it reminds them of responsibilities. Avoidance feels safer short-term. Avoidance increases anxiety long-term. Planning brings relief, even when tasks are challenging. Realistic planning encourages progress rather than perfection. Perfectionism creates pressure. Pressure fuels anxiety. Progress provides reassurance. Reassurance builds calm. Calm improves decision-making. Better decisions reduce mistakes. Reduced mistakes further reduce anxiety. Anxiety often hides beneath unrealistic self-expectations. Injecting non-stop productivity ignores humanity. Humans need rest, transitions, and flexibility. Respecting these needs reduces emotional strain. Planning realistically includes breaks. Breaks prevent exhaustion. Exhaustion intensifies anxiety. Balanced effort sustains clarity. When plans match reality, the mind relaxes. Relaxation improves focus. Focus improves efficiency. Efficiency frees time. Freed time creates space for recovery or growth. Growth builds confidence. Confidence reduces fear. Realistic planning also improves relationships. Missed commitments strain trust. Achievable commitments strengthen trust. Strong trust reduces social anxiety. Many people think anxiety comes from external pressure. Often it comes from internal conflict between expectations and reality. Aligning plans with reality resolves this conflict. Planning realistically requires reviewing past days. Past patterns reveal true capacity. Ignoring history repeats mistakes. Learning from history improves planning. Improved planning reduces emotional swing. Emotional stability improves consistency. Consistency supports growth. An anxious person often feels rushed even when time exists. Rushing comes from unclear priorities. Clear priorities slow the mind. A slower mind works better. Realistic planning also encourages saying no. Saying no protects capacity. Protected capacity reduces overload. Reduced overload reduces anxiety. Many people schedule tasks back to back without transitions. Transitions matter. The mind needs time to shift focus. Planning transitions improves flow. Flow feels calm and productive. Calm productivity reduces stress. Anxiety also decreases when plans include contingency. Expecting some disruption prevents emotional shock. Prepared minds adapt better. Realistic planning removes the fear of falling behind. Because expectations are achievable. Achievable expectations support confidence. Confidence changes inner dialogue. Inner dialogue influences emotional state. Improved emotional state reduces anxiety. Planning hours realistically does not eliminate challenges. It changes how challenges are experienced. Challenges feel manageable rather than overwhelming. Anxiety often comes from trying to control everything. Realistic planning accepts uncertainty while guiding effort. Acceptance reduces tension. Tension drains energy. Reduced tension preserves energy. Preserved energy supports resilience. Resilience allows you to recover quickly when days go off plan. Quick recovery prevents anxiety buildup. Planning realistically also improves self-trust. When plans are achievable and followed through, belief strengthens. Strong will calms the mind. Anxiety thrives on self-doubt. Self-trust weakens anxiety. Many people feel anxious because they carry too many mental notes. Writing realistic plans transfers responsibility from memory to structure. Structure reduces mental load. Reduced mental load improves clarity. Clarity improves action. Action builds momentum. Momentum reduces hesitation. Hesitation feeds anxiety. Movement breaks it. Realistic planning also encourages patience. Patience reduces urgency. Reduced urgency calms emotions. Calm emotions support consistent effort. Consistent effort creates progress. Progress reassures the mind that things are moving forward. Forward movement reduces fear of stagnation. Planning realistically turns the day into a series of manageable steps, rather than an overwhelming blur. Manageable steps feel achievable. Achievability builds confidence. Confidence lowers anxiety. Lower anxiety improves quality of life. Life feels lighter when hours are planned with respect for reality. Respect for reality creates harmony between effort and outcome. Harmony supports peace of mind. Peace of mind improves focus. Focus improves result. Results reinforce belief. Belief stabilizes emotion. This cycle begins with one simple act of honesty about time. Plan hours the way life actually works. Not perfectly, not ideally, but realistically. And watch anxiety slowly loosen its grip as clarity and calm take its place. Number 8. Delay pleasure to protect long-term freedom. One of the hardest disciplines for any human being is learning how to say not now to what feels good in the moment. Pleasure speaks loudly and immediately. Freedom speaks quietly and takes time. Most people listen to the louder voice and then wonder why life feels limited later. This is not a character flaw. It is a habit that was never questioned. Pleasure is easy to choose because it promises relief. Relief from effort, relief from boredom, relief from discomfort. The problem is that relief without direction slowly removes options. Every hour spent chasing comfort without purpose reduces the number of choices available in the future. Freedom is built when options increase, not when they shrink. Delaying pleasure does not mean rejecting joy. It means placing joy in the right order. There is a difference between joy earned and joy borrowed. Borrowed joy feels good briefly and costs later. Earned joy feels deeper and lasts longer. Long-term freedom depends on understanding this difference. The human brain is wired to seek immediate rewards. That wiring is useful for survival, but dangerous for growth. Growth requires patience. Patience requires discipline. Discipline requires choosing long-term benefit over short-term comfort. This choice is not dramatic. It happens quietly many times each day. Most limitations in adult life are the result of repeated small indulgences that were never challenged. Extra hours spent avoiding effort. Extra money spent without throughout. Extra energy given to distraction. None of these felt dangerous at the time. Together they built constraint. Freedom is rarely lost all at once. It is traded away gradually for convenience. Convenience feels harmless. Over time it becomes dependency. Dependency reduces choice. Reduced choice creates pressure. Delaying pleasure protects time. Time protected early multiplies later. Time wasted early must be paid back with interest. That interest shows up as stress, urgency, and regret. People often confuse these feelings with bad luck when they are simply the cost of earlier decisions. The disciplined person is not someone who never enjoys life. They are someone who enjoys life without destroying tomorrow. They understand that effort now expands comfort later. They also understand that comfort now often demands sacrifice later. Long-term freedom includes financial freedom. Money habits follow the same pattern. Spending for immediate satisfaction limits future options. Saving and investing delay pleasure, but create security. Security reduces fear. Reduced fear improves decision-making. Long-term freedom also includes emotional freedom. Emotional freedom comes from self-trust. Self-trust grows when impulses are managed rather than obeyed. Each time you delay unnecessary pleasure, you strengthen self-control. Self-control builds confidence. Confidence is not loud, it is calm. Calm confidence makes it easier to resist pressure. Pressure often pushes people toward indulgence. Calm allows choice. Pleasure often disguises itself as reward. Real rewards follow effort. False rewards replace effort. Replacing effort repeatedly weakens discipline. Weak discipline creates fragile future. Many people feel trapped later in life and cannot explain why. They feel tired, anxious, and limited. Often the answer lies in years of choosing ease over growth. Ease without balance leads to stagnation. Stagnation creates frustration. Delaying pleasure teaches patience. Patience strengthens focus. Focus improves skill development. Skills create value. Value creates leverage. Leverage creates freedom. Freedom is the ability to choose how you spend your time, energy, and attention. That ability is built through earlier restraint. Without restraint, choices narrow. With restraint, choices expand. People often say life should be enjoyed. That is true. The question is when and how. Enjoyment without responsibility becomes escapism. Enjoyment with discipline becomes fulfillment. Delayed pleasure increases appreciation. When rewards are earned, they feel meaningful. Meaning improves satisfaction. Satisfaction lasts longer than temporary excitement. The habit of immediate gratification trains the mind to avoid effort. Avoidance weakens resilience. Weak resilience makes challenges feel overwhelming. Overwhelm reduces confidence. Delaying pleasure strengthens resilience. Resilience improves problem solving. Problem solving increases independence. Independence supports freedom. Freedom also includes physical freedom. Health habits follow the same rule. Choosing comfort foods and inactivity feels pleasant now. The cost appears later as low energy and limitations. Choosing discipline early preserves mobility and vitality. Vitality improves quality of life. Quality of life improves emotional well-being. Many people fear missing out when they delay pleasure. What they miss, instead, is growth. Growth builds pride. Pride replaces fear of missing out with self-respect. Self-respect becomes a guiding force. It influences choices automatically. When self-respect is strong, indulgence loses appeal. Delayed pleasure also improves relationships. Keeping commitments builds trust. Trust creates strong connections. Strong connections support freedom through cooperation and support. Immediate pleasure often isolates. Delayed pleasure often builds community. Community provides stability during hard times. Freedom requires margin. Margin is created by saying no often enough. Saying no protects resources. Protected resources increase flexibility. Flexibility reduces stress. Reduced stress improves clarity. Clarity improves judgment. Judgment determines outcomes. Many people think freedom arrives suddenly through opportunity. Opportunity favors those prepared. Preparation requires discipline. This principle requires delayed pleasure. This principle applies to learning. Studying instead of entertainment feels difficult now. Knowledge gained creates future options. Options reduce dependence. Reduced dependence increases freedom. Delayed pleasure also improves emotional maturity. You learn that discomfort is temporary and manageable. This belief reduces fear of effort. Effort becomes less intimidating. Less intimidation leads to action. Action produces progress. Progress replaces anxiety with confidence. Immediate pleasure often masks satisfaction. Delayed pleasure addresses root causes. Addressing root causes improves life quality. The choice to delay pleasure must be repeated daily. It is not a one-time decision. Each choice reinforces identity. Identity shapes behavior. A disciplined identity sees pleasure as something to enjoy responsibly, not something to chase compulsively. Compulsion removes choice. Choice defines freedom. Many people think freedom means doing whatever you want. True freedom means doing what matters without being controlled by impulses. Impulses change quickly. Values remain steady. Aligning with values requires restraint. Delayed pleasure aligns time with value. This alignment reduces inner conflict. Reduced conflict improves peace of mind. Peace of mind supports focus. Focus supports achievement. Achievement earned through discipline feels satisfying. Satisfaction earned lasts longer. Long-term freedom is built quietly through daily choices. No applause accompanies restraint. The reward arrives later as options and stability. Stability allows creativity. Creativity improves fulfillment. Delayed pleasure also improves gratitude. When rewards are earned, they are valued more. Gratitude improves happiness. Happiness built on discipline is stable. Happiness built on indulgence is fragile. Fragile happiness depends on constant stimulation. Stable happiness depends on progress and meaning. Meaning grows when effort serves a purpose. Edges gives direction. Direction simplifies decisions. Simple decisions reduce mental fatigue. Reduced fatigue improves consistency. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum carries effort forward even during difficult periods. Those who delay pleasure develop strength. Strength creates confidence. Confidence supports leadership over self. Leadership over self precedes leadership in life. Life becomes less reactive and more intentional. Intentional living protects freedom. Freedom built this way does not disappear easily. It is resilient. Resilient freedom withstands challenges. Challenges are inevitable. Preparation makes them manageable. Delaying pleasure is preparation. It is choosing the future over the moment. It is choosing options over limitations. It is choosing stability over chaos. It is choosing gist over regret. The pleasure you delay today becomes the freedom you enjoy tomorrow. That freedom feels calm, secure, and earned. And it begins with one simple choice, repeated often enough to change a life. Number 9. Review time use to correct course. Most people drift through days without ever stopping to ask where their time actually went. Days end, weeks pass, months disappear. Then one morning, a person feels off track and cannot explain why. Direction is rarely lost in one dramatic moment. It is lost quietly through unexamined routines. Reviewing how time is used is how direction is recovered. Correction requires awareness. Awareness requires reflection. Without reflection, mistakes repeat themselves, disguised as habits. Habits feel normal even when they are harmful. Reviewing time use shines light on patterns that otherwise stay hidden. What stays hidden cannot be changed. Time review is not about guilt. Guilt weakens focus. It is about clarity. Clarity brings power. When you see clearly, you can choose differently. When you choose differently, results change. Results influence confidence. Most people assume they know how they spend their time. Very few actually do. Memory is selective. It remembers effort and forgets distraction. Reviewing time use replaces assumptions with facts. Facts guide improvement. Course correction happens in small adjustments. Small adjustments made early prevent large corrections later. Waiting too long makes change harder. Early review keeps growth gentle rather than painful. Reviewing time use also builds maturity. Immature thinking avoids feedback. Mature thinking seeks it. Feedback from your own behavior is the most honest feedback available. Time tells the truth without judgment. Many people feel stuck because they repeat the same days expecting different results. Review breaks this cycle. It introduces choice. Choice restores control. Control reduces frustration. When you review time, you begin to notice energy patterns. You see when focus was strong and when it faded. You see which activities drained you and which restored you. This knowledge improves planning. Better planning improves follow-through. Follow-through builds trust. Trust strengthens confidence. Reviewing time use also reveals emotional triggers. Certain feelings lead to distraction. Certain situations lead to avoidance. Awareness of these triggers allows preparation. Preparation reduces reaction. Reaction steals time. Preparation saves it. People often fear review because they worry about confronting wasted hours. Avoiding review does not erase waste. It allows it to continue. Facing waste once prevents it many times. Review does not require harsh judgment. Harsh judgment discourages honesty. Honest review is calm and curious. It asks simple questions. What worked? What did not? What can be adjusted? These questions guide improvement without emotional weight. Improvement becomes practical rather than personal. Reviewing time regularly keeps goals alive. Fade when daily actions drift. Review reconnects actions to intention. This alignment restores motivation. Motivation fueled by clarity lasts longer than motivation fueled by emotion. Time review also strengthens discipline. Discipline improves when feedback is immediate. Immediate feedback allows faster correction. Faster correction reduces frustration. Frustration often comes from repeating mistakes unknowingly. Awareness breaks that loop. Reviewing time use improves efficiency. You notice low-value activities that consume disproportionate energy. Removing them frees space for meaningful work. Freed space reduces overwhelm. Reduced overwhelm improves focus. Focus improves quality. Quality improves results. Results reinforce effort. Time review also helps manage expectations. Unrealistic expectations create pressure. Pressure creates anxiety. Review shows what is realistic. Realistic planning reduces stress. Stress often comes from imagined obligations rather than actual ones. Review separates reality from assumption. Many people carry mental guilt about what they think they should have done. Reviewing actual actions replaces imagined guilt with concrete information. Concrete information allows action. Reviewing time use also improves self-trust. When you consistently reflect and adjust, you demonstrate responsibility. Responsibility strengthens identity. Identity influences behavior automatically. A responsible identity chooses better habits. Time review builds resilience. When days go poorly, review prevents quitting. You learn instead of giving up. Learning maintains momentum. Momentum keeps growth moving. Without review, people often overreact to setbacks. With review, setbacks become data rather than drama. Data leads to solutions. Drama leads to avoidance. Reviewing time use also improves decision-making. Patterns become visible. Where decisions were rushed or distracted. Future decisions improve with this insight. Better decisions reduce regret. Regret often comes from acting without awareness. Awareness comes from reflection. Review does not require hours. Even a few minutes can reveal valuable insight. Consistency matters more than duration. Regular review prevents accumulation of problems. Small problems addressed early remain small. Ignoring small problems allows them to grow. Time review also clarifies priorities. You see who received attention and what was neglected. This reveals true priorities rather than stated ones. Priorities guide change. Change based on truth lasts longer. Reviewing time use also improves emotional regulation. You notice how emotions influence behavior. Awareness reduces impulsivity. Reduced impulsivity improves discipline. Discipline stabilizes life. Stability improves confidence. Confidence supports growth. Many people believe they need motivation to change. Review provides direction. Direction reduces the need for motivation. When you know what to do, effort feels simpler. Review also encourages humility. You acknowledge mistakes without self-attack. Humility allows learning. Learning strengthens competence. Competence reduces anxiety. Time review helps detect burnout early. You notice excessive strain before collapse. Early adjustment preserves energy. Energy supports support. Consistency builds long-term results. Reviewing time use also improves alignment with values. You notice where actions matched values and where they did not. Alignment restores integrity. Integrity builds self-respect. Self-respect strengthens discipline. Discipline improves follow-through. Review also improves patience. You see progress over time. This reduces impatience and comparison. Comparison distorts perception. Review grounds it. Grounded perception improves satisfaction. Time review encourages ownership. Ownership replaces blame. Blame keeps people stuck. Ownership creates options. Options create freedom. Reviewing time use regularly turns life into a learning process. Lila processes adapt. Static processes stagnate. Adaptation keeps growth alive. Growth maintains hope. Hope fuels effort. Effort produces progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief stabilizes emotion. Emotion influences behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Outcomes shape the future. This chain is guided by review. Without review, the chain runs blindly. With review, the chain becomes intentional. Time review also improves gratitude. You notice productive moments rather than only flaws. Balanced perspective improves mood. Improved mood supports discipline. Discipline supports consistency. Consistency creates reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust supports leadership over self. Leadership over self shapes destiny. Reviewing time use does not change the past. It changes direction. Direction matters more than speed. Small course corrections made consistently lead to significant transformation. A ship off course by a few degrees may seem fine at first. Over time, it ends far from its destination. Correction early keeps it aligned. Life works the same way. Reviewing time use keeps you aligned with where you want to go. It replaces drifting with direction. It replaces guessing with clarity. It replaces guessing with clarity. It replaces regret with responsibility. It replaces chaos with truth. It replaces stagnation with growth. The future responds quickly to corrected behavior. Correction begins with awareness. Awareness begins with review. Review is the quiet habit that keeps life moving forward rather than sideways. Those who reflect regularly rarely feel lost for long. They adjust. They continue. They grow. And over time, their lives intentional progress rather than accidental outcome. Number 10, commit to mastery of your hours. There comes a moment in every serious life when a person realizes that wishing for change is no longer enough. At that moment, a deeper decision is required. That decision is to commit, not to try, not to hope, but to commit to mastery of how hours are used. This commitment is not dramatic. It is quiet and firm. It is a line drawn internally that says time will no longer be treated casually. Mastery of hours is not about perfection. It is about ownership. Ownership means you accept that your hours are shaping your life, whether you guide them or not. Once that truth is accepted, excuses lose their power. Blame fades. Responsibility becomes clear. Responsibility is not a burden when chosen willingly. It becomes a source of strength. Many people drift through years believing they are busy while never truly directing their days. Busyness feels productive, but often produces little. Mastery replaces motion with intention. Intention brings focus. Focus creates results. Results reinforce belief. Committing to mastery of hours means deciding that time deserves respect. Respect changes behavior. When something is respected, it is protected. Protected time creates space for growth. Growth builds confidence. Confidence reduces fear. Fear often keeps people stuck in reactive patterns. Reacting feels safe because it avoids decision-making. Mastery requires decisions. Decisions create direction. Direction removes confusion. Confusion fuels anxiety. The moment you commit to mastering your hours, you begin to see them differently. An hour is no longer something to be filled. It becomes something to be invested. This shift changes how you approach your day. You stop asking how to get through it and start asking how to use it well. Mastery develops through consistency, not intensity. Occasional focus does not transform a life. Daily discipline does. Discipline practiced gently and repeatedly becomes habit. Habits reduce effort. Reduced effort increases sustainability. Sustainable discipline outperforms bursts of motivation. Motivation fades, habits remain. Mastery is built on habits that survive emotional fluctuation. Committing to mastery also means accepting that discomfort is part of growth. Avoiding discomfort delays progress. Facing it builds strength. Strength supports confidence. Confidence stabilizes behavior. Many people fear structure because they associate it with restriction. In truth, structure creates freedom. It removes constant decision-making. It reduces chaos. It creates space for creativity. Mastery of hours does not mean rigid control. It means flexible discipline. Discipline guided by values, not pressure. Flexibility guided by awareness, not avoid. A person committed to mastery reviews their days without judgment. They adjust calmly. They learn quickly. They do not quit because of imperfect execution. They understand that mastery is a process. Process thinking reduces frustration. Frustration often comes from expecting instant transformation. Mastery unfolds gradually. Each well-used day contributes. No single day carries the weight of success. Together they shape destiny. Committing to mastery also builds self-trust. You see yourself follow through. This evidence strengthens belief. Belief reduces hesitation. Reduced hesitation leads to action. Action taken consistently builds momentum. Momentum makes discipline easier. Ease supports continuation. Many people wait for clarity before committing. Clarity often arrives after commitment. Commitment creates focus. Focus reveals clarity. Mastery of hours improves emotional stability. Emotional swings lessen when days have direction. Direction grounds the mind. A grounded mind handles challenges better. Challenges do not disappear with mastery. Response improved. Improved response reduces damage. Reduced damage preserves energy. Energy preserved fuels growth. Committing to mastery also improves patience. You stop rushing because you trust the process. Trust reduces urgency. Reduced urgency improves quality. Quality work produces better outcomes with less stress. Mastery of hours also improves relationships. When you manage your time well, you show up reliably. Reliability builds trust. Trust strengthens connection. Strong connections support resilience during difficult seasons. Committing to mastery requires letting go of old habits. Some habits feel comfortable but costly. Letting go creates space. Space allows new habits to form. New habits take time to settle. Patience is required. Patience grows through repetition. Mastery of hours also demands honesty. Honest acknowledgement of distractions. Honest assessment of priorities. Honest reflection on results. Honesty prevents self-deception. Self-deception delays growth. When hours are mastered, distractions lose their appeal. Purpose becomes clearer. Clear purpose guides behavior automatically. Purpose-driven behavior reduces inner conflict. Reduced conflict improves peace of mind. Peace of mind supports clarity. Clarity improves decision-making. Better decisions improve outcomes. Outcomes reinforce belief. Belief sustains effort. Effort maintained over time shapes character. Character influences destiny. Mastery of hours reduces regret. Regret often comes from neglected priorities. When priorities are honored, regret loses its voice. Life feels fuller when time aligns with values. Values give meaning to effort. Meaning sustains motivation. Motivation grounded in meaning lasts longer than motivation driven by emotion. Committing to mastery also improves confidence under pressure. You trust your systems. Systems provide stability when emotions rise. Stability allows rational thinking. Rational thinking leads to wise choices. Wise choices accumulate into success. Success achieved this way feels earned. Earned success feels satisfying. Mastery of hours also simplifies life. Simplicity reduces mental load. Reduced mental load improves focus. Focus motivates learning. Learning expands capability. Capability creates options. Options create freedom. Freedom increases quality of life. This freedom is not reckless. It is grounded. It comes from discipline, not escape. Committing to mastery of hours means choosing growth repeatedly. Even when comfort calls, comfort will always be available. Growth requires choice. Choice repeated becomes identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Outcomes shapes life. This entire sequence begins with a commitment. Not tomorrow. Not someday. A commitment made internally and renewed daily. Mastery does not require grand gestures. It requires small, consistent actions. It requires awareness. It requires patience. Many people believe mastery belongs to the talented or fortunate. Mastery belongs to the disciplined. Discipline is available to anyone willing to practice it. Practice is not glamorous. It is ordinary. Ordinary actions repeated with care create extraordinary results. Committing to mastery of hours also builds resilience. Setbacks become lessons. Lessons inform adjustment. Adjustment maintains progress. Progress keeps hope alive. Hope fuels persistence. Persistence achieves results. Mastery is not about controlling every moment. It is about guiding direction. Direction matters more than speed. Even slow progress in the right direction leads somewhere meaningful. Fast movement without direction leads nowhere. Committing to mastery also reduces comparison. When you focus on your own hours, external timelines lose relevance. This reduces pressure. Reduced pressure improves enjoyment. Enjoyment increases sustainability. Sustainable effort outperforms forced effort. Mastery of hours also encourages gratitude. You appreciate productive days. You learn from unproductive ones. Balanced perspective improves emotional health. Emotional health has consistency. Consistency supports mastery. Over time, mastery becomes natural. You no longer force discipline. It becomes part of who you are. Who you are determines how you live. How you live determines what you build. What you build determines what you leave behind. Committing to mastery of your hours is committing to your future self. It is choosing to become reliable, disciplined, and intentional. It is choosing progress over excuses. It is choosing direction over drift. It is choosing responsibility over regret. This commitment changes how days feel. It changes how challenges are faced. It changes how life unfolds. The future responds to disciplined time use with opportunity and stability. Stability creates peace. Peace supports growth. Growth creates fulfillment. Fulfillment makes effort worthwhile. All of this begins with a simple yet powerful decision to take command of how hours are used. Commitment is the turning point. Once made, it does not shout. It works quietly day after day. And over time, it builds a life that feels intentional, steady, and deeply satisfying.